Oh, no problem.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, did you hear the good news about San Antonio?
Oh, what's the good news?
We ranked third in regards to a zombie apocalypse.
Third,
That's
is that
best city.
third in preparedness?
I have no idea. Just
See, because it depends on what that third means.
I feel like it's partially because we're so far from others.
That's what I thought, but guess what number one was?
Military.
Where's number one?
Houston.
Oh, well, that's not good for us, Houston. I mean, during the zombie apocalypse, I'm sure they will install a light rail, unlike we have done. So it'll be easy for them to come to San Antonio.
That's true. Yeah,
And San Antonio never gives up on its fiesta. So I'm sure they're like, let's just wait till April.
What was number two?
New York City.
Oh, wow.
So maybe,
No.
yeah, I'm like, maybe it was
I don't
bogus, but.
buy that.
So I need to know, are we third in preparedness,
population
third in how we're going to be received? I'm trying to figure that
I'll have to
out.
look more into it, Judge. I was just shocked.
Manny Rodriguez,
Yes, good morning.
the attorney has brought me some news. He told me that San Antonio is third as far as the zombie apocalypse. I don't know if that's in preparedness or what.
I hopefully prepared us because we have a lot of military.
I think
Yeah.
that has to be it, right?
I think so.
But if one of the military bases ends up infiltrated by zombie, we're gone.
Then we're toast.
And if it's like the zombies from the Brad Pitt movie,
Oh,
we're not. Yes, I'm dependent on them being slow moving because I can run for a mile, then sleep, and then run for another mile. All right, so this was set for PTD, is that correct?
No, Judge. It was the last day of plea. We're talking,
Yes, it is plea deadline date.
yes, Judge. We're discussing. We have something possibly worked out, but the state needs to talk to the victim before we can come to an agreement.
Mhm.
So it's as long as the state needs to contact that witness, we're willing to come back.
Well, people will come back on Wednesday because that's when the jury trial will be.
Is that enough time to talk to the victim?
Oh, sure, we have phones. The zombie apocalypse has not happened yet, so the phone lines still work.
We can come back, Your Honor. I think it's, I mean,
Can
we
we
can talk to the victim.
can we pick up the phone now? I mean, is there?
Mr. Banks called earlier. He did not
Yeah, we
answer.
left a message this morning,
Oh.
but that's,
Did y'all call from a blocked number? Because people don't answer blocked numbers, and I know when you're calling from the courthouse, it's blocked.
He used his cell phone, Judge, so I imagine not.
well, he
Okay.
probably did.
But do they just not want to talk to Travis? Are they like, oh, this is Travis, I don't want to talk to him?
I mean, we can probably, yeah, we can make Wednesday happen.
All right, Norma, this is going to come back, Sean Griffin, on Wednesday, the 20th.
And Judge, I'll be here first thing in the morning. I do have a speaking engagement during lunch on the 20th.
Oh, what are you speaking on? The zombies?
Actually, ChatGPT.
Oh, awesome. And so where is this taking place
That
at?
directions lending here in San Antonio.
Okay, where is that?
I actually don't know the exact actual location.
Okay.
It's just a big lending company that I work with here in San Antonio.
Oh, well, I know you're going to do great at it.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate
All
it.
right, so if you just sign the reset form, we'll see you back on Wednesday. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 0996, State of Texas versus Luis Puente Jr. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Defense?
Daniel Rodriguez for Mr. Puente.
And are you Mr. Puente?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Luis Puente Jr. who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0996 for the offense of felon in possession of a weapon on January 25th, 2022 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 26th day of August 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Luis Puente Jr. committed the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we waive and abandon the other violations alleged in the motion.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Judge.
Mr. Puente, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 3 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking you that you grant the motion, revoke the defendant and sentence him to 3 years in TDC. And the state will TIC the new number 1, which is cause number NM 727272.
727272.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. All right, is that the agreement?
That is, Judge.
Mr. Puente, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
Grant the motion, revoke you. Mr. Puente, I'm looking over your history and I see that there were drug issues was your problem and that we tried SAFE. I'm sorry, SATF. Did he actually complete SATF?
Judge, I was gonna ask to put on the record his credit for time served, which is 136 days in Bear County Jail and a successful completion of SATF from April 19th to August 16th for an additional 119 days for a total of 255 days.
All right, so counsel, I'm assuming you're asking for credit for inpatient treatment time?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is going to grant the motion, sentence time served and credit for time in any inpatient treatment that was successfully completed. All right, based upon your new number 1, it appears that you still have issues with your sobriety.
Yes.
If you would like, I could request for you the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community will not increase the time that you're in custody. For example, I'm following the agreement to sentence you to 3 years in prison. If I sentence you to 3 years in prison, and let's say they parole you at 2 years or at 1 year or whatever parole time they give you. If you are in the therapeutic community and you have not completed it, they're not going to say, oh, we're going to keep him even though he's been paroled because he hasn't completed therapeutic community. Therapeutic community is just something extra for you to hopefully help you maintain your sobriety. So would you like to be referred for that?
Referred you.
Okay. Now, I don't have any jurisdiction to force them to place you in the therapeutic community, so you'll still have to ask for it, and then it's completely up to them. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, grant the motion, sentence you to 3 years in prison, give you credit for any time served, credit for any successful completion of inpatient treatment, and I'll recommend the therapeutic community. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Off the record, Mr. Puente, how old are you?
49.
All right, you're 49. You're getting close to that point in your life where you have more of your life behind you than in front of you. And it's going to be completely up to you of how you choose to live that. You can choose to live it by using drugs. I always tell people when I was in the treatment courts, the only difference between somebody with a criminal charge for drug possession and the person who doesn't have it, one person had a chance to use it, the other person did not. Whenever you're using drugs, they're not FDA approved. The people don't care whether you live or not. It's just strictly a business transaction. They don't care if it's interfering with your health or not. It's a business transaction. And you never know if you're going to get a bad drug. You never know if they're going to be trying to identify your body. So is your mom or dad still alive?
Mother.
All right. So you don't want them to have to identify you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't go to the prison, get institutionalized. Don't be the person at the prison when people say, how are things run here? And they say, well, you can ask the oldest person here. We call him Grandpa Puente. Don't be the grandfather at the prison, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. All right, Trinidad Velasquez. And counsel, you're on this side. All right, so this was scheduled for VTC. Where are we on that?
Good morning,
Herman?
Judge. How are
Good
you?
morning.
So I spoke with Mr. Velasquez last time I was in the court, Your Honor,
Mhm.
and I told him the importance of needing to see the DD 214 for the DA's office.
Okay.
I know he's in custody. His mom got my contact information. She did send 2 documents,
Okay.
but they're just letters saying that he's facing deportation in the military right now.
Ah.
So I can't move forward or ask you to pull a prisoner over unless I see the DD 214s. So I'm kind of, that's where I'm at.
All right, counsel, do you have his mother's number?
Yes.
All right, can you call her and let her know the information that's needed by John?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to recall this in 3 weeks. And what is happening with the court martial?
That I do not, I'm not aware.
Because I'm in the process of separation and I haven't been in contact with them because I'm in here.
He's majority is because he's in confinement. Since he's in confinement, they can't get a hold of him, so they're acting on behalf as if he was not able. They know where he's at.
Okay, so they know where you are?
Correct.
So are you separating from them
I'm separating. I'm discharging. from the army.
voluntarily?
No.
Not voluntarily?
I'm being honest now, not voluntarily.
Okay,
Which I'm aware.
does the military want him to separate?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ferguson, we'll recall this in 3 weeks. And what is his bond situation? For example, why is he in custody on a 3rd-degree felony? Is there something else holding him other than this?
No,
I was told he has $15,000 bond.
That's what I was told when I was brought in.
All right, counsel, if you want to set a motion to have that heard, we can send it to Judge Nahara. Because, I mean, it's a 3rd-degree felony.
What, a motion to reduce or?
Yes,
possibly a
if you
PR bond?
want to do that, and you can file it and Judge Nahara will hear it, but they need a motion. So if you file the motion and then ask them
Okay, he's
to,
also got a pending county court 4 case, which we probably need to get him down to county court 4 today.
all right. Ms. Ferguson, what date? All right, we'll come back on October 16th, and counsel, if you'll make sure to let his mother know specifically what paperwork he needs. I see, it's still true. Moms always keep everything.
That's right. That's my mom.
Does your mom have your birth certificate and social security card? Yes.
She probably has the Air Force discharge paperwork somewhere.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Anything.
Okay, like I told you, like I just need some discharge from the military, so I can show the DA's office so we can start building a file on you, okay? Other than that, that's what we need, and I'll pull you over for the DJOs to talk to you like we talked about. But we need that first paper, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And counsel and John, if you all get that sooner than October 16th, you can always have it brought back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
I think
All
that's-
right, we'll see you on October 16th.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Mr. Rittenhour, I saw your post.
Been a tough year, Judge.
Oh, gosh, yes. Mom and I are sending our prayers, so it's going to be fine.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, on this case, counsel,
She just got indicted.
Yes.
In this case. We'd like another recess, so you and I can sit down and go over the discovery.
all right, so do you think you have all the discovery?
I believe I do, according to, I think I do, from what is in the DA file. the DA
Okay.
file.
And then state, were you able to tender an offer or no?
No, ma'am, I have not been like this.
All right, have you conferred with the defense?
Just real briefly, just about.
We're not ready for an officer. Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Ricardo Tavares, if you'll recall this in 30 days. All right, October 23rd, at that time, the state will need to make an offer. And how old are you, Mr. Tavares?
35.
You're 35. So what's going to end up happening on October 23rd, the state is going to make an offer. And then I'm going to give you a quick turnaround, and that's going to be your plea deadline date, and you'll need to let the court know whether you're accepting or rejecting the state's offer. Do you understand? All right, so we'll see you then. Counsel, are you expecting your client to make bond?
I'm not sure, Judge. We'll have to talk about that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset form, please? All right, thank you. All right, this is a plea, but Bashan, there are no applications. Court is calling 2023 CR 7166, State of Texas versus Luis Coronado. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
David McLean for Luis Coronado.
are you Mr. Coronado?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Coronado, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
You're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 118 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44. There are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense,
Yes.
state.
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea.
State offer state exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Your Honor, I've reviewed that with my client. We have no objection.
All right, thank you. State, you may be excused to continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Coronado, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've discussed this matter with my client. He understands he was not in a right place at that point. He's going to try and endeavor to stay out of trouble. We just asked the court to call the plea bargain.
Mr. Coronado, why do you keep spilling?
I was depressed. I was just didn't know what I was doing.
Well, no, you knew what you were doing. You were intoxicated.
Yeah.
You went into this hotel. You took an item from their pantry, which was 2 beers, put them in your pants, and then went and sat on the bus stop drinking. So again, why do you continue to steal? Because if this were your first time stealing, you would be in misdemeanor court unless the cost of beer has gone up exponentially. So why do you continue to steal?
So I was out in the street and I was just really like my friends was just peer pressure me to do stuff.
How old are you?
31.
At 31, no one has peer pressure. I don't understand a 31-year-old. What were your friends saying? Steal it, take the beer? I don't think so.
Like convincing me, I guess.
I'm sorry, what?
Like convincing me.
Yeah, I don't understand a 31-year-old who's subjecting themselves to peer pressure. And who are you hanging around with? What age are they that they are using peer pressure to have you steal?
They're pretty young, like 26, 25.
26 and 25, that's still not the peer pressure crowd. When people think of peer pressure, they're thinking people who are in maybe high school, maybe middle school. We called it junior high when I was growing up. Do you want to spend the rest of your life in and out of prison and in and out of jails?
No.
All right. These cases, this state jail felony, at some point in time, if you continue on the path that you're on, these state jail felonies are going to be enhanced. And what that will mean is you will not be looking at up to 2 years in the state jail facility. We will start talking about prison time. Do you understand?
Yes.
So whatever is going on in your life, you need to get your life together. And you are at an age where you should not be hanging around or being with people who you say are using peer pressure to make you do the wrong thing. Do you have children?
Yeah.
What are their ages?
12.
Just one?
No, I got two 12-year-olds.
2 12-year-olds? Are they twins?
No, they're 6 months apart.
Oh, okay. All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 118 days in the Bexar County Jail on the 1244, give you credit for any time served. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Are you in your 12-year-old's lives?
Yes.
How so? Do
I
you see them on a daily basis?
I see them as much as I can.
What does that even mean?
Their mom was in prison, and then the other one, she had another relationship, so it was pretty hard.
So are they living with this mother, or are they living with grandparents?
No, with the mother.
All right, you're gonna have to try to do better things for your children. Otherwise, you know what's gonna end up happening? If I have not retired, I may end up seeing your children before me, and you know what they're gonna say? Well, I have a father who stole, so that's why I steal. And whatever the mother went to prison for, they're gonna say, the reason why I do this is because my mother went to prison. Both you and the mother of these 2 boys or 2 children have not given them a good example, and you all are giving them a bad start. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Always good seeing you, Mr. McClay. Have a good one.
You too. We'll see.
All right. Well, Ms. Kramer,
Good morning.
how's
Judge.
it going?
Good, you?
All right. How's Annette Cat doing?
Chloe, just fine.
Yeah.
Getting older though, much older.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I miss Annette.
Me too. I was thinking about her the other day.
All right. What is happening on Mr. Schaefer's case?
Judge, this is the first setting. We do have a plea bargain offer from the state.
Mhm.
Right now, they do have uncooperative witnesses. So Mr. Schaefer told me that he would like to, being a first setting, it's not going to be dismissed today, get to a potential trial setting and see if the state still doesn't have the complainant's been cooperative.
All right. Do you have all of the discovery?
As far as I know, yes, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Schaefer, how old are you?
36.
You're 36?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm setting your plea deadline date. Your plea deadline date is going to be September 25th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to accept the state's offer, that means your plea deadline date will have expired, and the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Schaefer, if you can put this for September 25th, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Are you expecting your client to make bond?
Honestly, Judge, no, but I told him that if he does, I gave him a card. The first thing he has to do is call me.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset form, please?
You can have.
All right, thank you.
to explain some stuff.
Mr. Trevino, if you could come down. It's okay. All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2021 CR 7554, State of Texas versus Aaron Trevino. Mr. Trevino, if you could announce for the record, are you Aaron Trevino?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Trevino, we had a previous setting on this case. The clerk is looking for the file. All right, are you able to print out the docket sheet? Thank you. All right, we were here last on a hearing. And at that hearing, Miss Judy Wimmert said that she would have the appeal filed. There has been a question from the Eighth Court of Appeals in El Paso asking whether or not the appeal has been abandoned. Mr. Trevino, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. For the record, Ms. Wimmert is not present. This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:40 a.m. Have you been able to meet with your attorney to discuss whether or not you wish to continue with this appeal?
The last time I talked to her is that I still wanted her on the case, but that was the last time I ever had contact.
All right, and when was that?
The day we had that phone conference.
All right, and we had a phone conference because you were still in custody. Well, your location
Yes.
was at the Texas Department of Corrections, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And have you had any contact with her since that phone conversation?
No, ma'am.
All right. So my first question for you is, do you wish to continue with the appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you wish to have Ms. Wimmert as your attorney still?
Yes, ma'am. It says far as that.
All right. All right. So Ms. Wimmert hasn't appeared for this court setting. I've received a report that the appeal has not been filed. And at the last hearing we had, Ms. Wimmert informed the court that she would have the appeal filed before this date. So it has not been filed. So what the court will do is you wish to continue with Ms. Wimmert. The Eighth Court of Criminal Appeals will have her address whatever issues she needs to address with them. But what I'm going to do is I will keep Ms. Wimmert on this, but I'm going to have a co-appellate counsel appointed. Do you understand? All right, what that means is you say you want to keep Ms. Wimmert, is that correct? All right. At some point, this appeal has to be filed. It's not going to be allowed to sit out here for years waiting for Ms. Wimmert to file an appeal. Do you understand? So to make sure that that is done and that the appeal is timely filed, and when I say not sit out here for years, the person who wants this brief done and submitted is the Eighth Criminal Court of Appeals. All right. And so they have instructed me to have this hearing with you and Ms. Wimmert, but Ms. Wimmert is not present and she was to be here at 9 a.m. And it is to discover whether or not the appeal is going to continue. You're telling me that you wish the appeal to continue. So I'm not going to remove Ms. Wimmert, but I am going to have co-counsel, co-appellate counsel appointed. Do you understand now? All right. Do you have any objections to co-appellate counsel being appointed? All right. So Ms. Ferguson, if you will contact Mac, and I know he's been down here, but if you will have Mac come back down here, please, so that we can make sure that there's a co-appellate counsel appointed. All right, is there anything else? All right, just have a seat. We're going to make sure that there's a second attorney appointed, all right? Thank you. And I'll need that transcript prepared.